Welcome to my Sickle Cell Life podcast. My name is Jen Quisha Phillips. I go by Jen. Yes, Jen. Go by Jen.
I would know because I named you.
Okay. I started this podcast and these interviews because I feel like nobody is getting our stories out there when it comes to sickle cell. And I feel like we can get our message further when we work together. So, this is why I'm doing this, to get the sickle cell community and our stories further and at the forefront of the conversation. So thank you, Mommy, for agreeing to be interviewed.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure to be here to give my view on things, my perspective as your mother.
Yeah. So, first I want to say this is my mother. You can introduce yourself, Mom. You can tell them your name, age, and your location.
Well, of course, my name is Deborah Fox. I am Jen Quisha's mother. I am 58 years old, and I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina.
So, what was it like when you found out that I had sickle cell, or when they told you I had sickle cell? What was that like?
Ooh. It was scary because, it was the first. I didn't know what it was like to have a child with sickle cell, so I had to learn everything about it because I knew nothing at the time. So I had to learn, and I was taught. I went to a class where they explained everything about sickle cell. That was years ago. And I don't even know if they do that anymore, but they explained everything about sickle cell, how it came about, how you catch it, how you not catch it, so how you're born with it. Right. And that aspect of it. But it was scary because I didn't know what to expect. Right. So, and it was scary because they were saying things like a lot of sickle cell kids don't make it past 5. So you overcame that past 5. And then, they were starting to say that a lot of sickle cell kids, it was just going on and on, saying that a lot of children with sickle cell don't have a long life expectancy. Right. So that in itself was scary to me. Right. That was very scary. And I had to educate the people around me too about sickle cell because they did not know anything about it. Even my mom, and my mom has the trait. She did not know about sickle cell anemia. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so that just goes to education back then. Like, there was not a lot of education. There wasn't a lot of treatment. Because if there was a lot of education, then they would have known that sickle cell is not an automatic death sentence just because you have it. You can have a long, fulfilling life. There are, thank God, sickle cell patients in the nursing homes now.
You just got to make sure, you as a parent of a sickle cell child, you have to be on that medication, making sure she's taking it like I had to send medicine to the daycare and make sure that they were giving her her medicine, and and fussing when they didn't. Because look, this is my daughter's life, and I need this medicine to be given to her like it's supposed to. So for the most part, they did good with it, and
Okay. Well, I know that was tough and, like you say, scary to hear that, especially when you've never had a disabled child, you don't know any disabled children, you don't know any people with illnesses like that, like serious illnesses or anything like that.
yeah,
So I can
not
only
at all.
imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine how that made you feel, and then to hear that your child may not live to see 5 or 10
Right.
or 15 or whatever it is, and so I get what you're saying, because that's how I felt, like always having this anticipation of dying early.
Right.
And so you,
Scary.
yeah, a lot of sickle cell patients don't even plan their life, because they didn't expect to be where they are. They didn't expect to be 30 or 40 or 20 or however old, because they've been told their whole life, you're not going to live very long. You're not going to live. You're not going to live. And to be told that is different. It does something different to you.
Oh yeah.
So I get how you were scared. So did it affect your relationships and like your work and stuff like that with me having this new diagnosis and people are not educated and all of that?
Well, relationships, not so much, and I wasn't worried about that part of it. But work, it. I mean, I had to explain to them, that I had a child that had sickle cell anemia, and and is being hospitalized, quite a few times, and I may have to take off.
Right.
Not knowing back then that I could have been taking, I could have had I think it's something called a medical leave or medical,
yeah, family medical leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Or
FMLA or short-term disability.
it's got something to do with short-term disability, but I could have been covered at work. Not that I didn't lose a job or anything behind it, but I could have been at ease with, taking off instead of, letting you be in the hospital sometimes without me. Because that worried the crap out of me too, because I always wanted to be there. And for the most part, when you were young, I was there. So, I mean, I had to be there. But, as you grew up, you could be in the hospital by yourself for a day or so. And I could go on to work, but I wouldn't have had to have that fear, of being out of work and getting fired if I had known that I could take this disability thing and, with a child that was sick and be covered.
Right. And that's education.
So it's a lot of information out there that people don't know, weren't educated on. And I didn't find out about this until like recently that I could have did it. And I'm like, what in the heck?
Right, that could have helped you 30 years
Right.
ago.
When I needed it.
Yeah. Like, Lord.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's sad to talk to people, parents of sickle cell patients and the sickle cell patients themselves, to hear how much misinformation was given out and how much the lack of education there was in and around this disease. And like, they leave us out of everything, because I guarantee
it does not get enough notoriety. That's for sure.
Because them cancer patients, they're going to make sure that, and I have nothing against cancer patients, but they're going to make sure that their families are getting every benefit they can get
Right.
that
Right.
they're eligible for while they're fighting cancer.
And it's like sickle cell anemia doesn't even exist to them because you barely hear anything about it. I was listening to the news the other day, and there was some type of function going on, and they mentioned sickle cell anemia, and I was like, what?
Right, you're surprised.
They actually say something about sickle cell anemia on TV.
Right.
I was thoroughly shocked. So, but it made me happy that somebody did mention it, and I don't know if it was I don't know what the event was, but apparently it had something to do with the sick children, you know, and helping the children. So I was very happy to hear that it was at least mentioned.
Right, and they're getting better at it. I've been seeing
come a long way.
Yes, because they actually will cover stories on sickle cell, especially when we make progress in getting different treatments and cures, as they say. They will cover it in that way. I just wish that they would cover more of the patient's stories, even if they're not getting cured.
Right.
You know, because people do not understand what we go through. Like your blood and having a dysfunction in your blood is something different because your body it needs blood. It's dependent on blood and oxygen. And so to have your blood attacking you it's like a different level of pain. It's crazy. But aside from the pain, I want to know what was it like explaining to my sisters and brothers what was going on with me, especially when like sickle cell is like an invisible disease, and to kids, if they don't see anything on the outside physically wrong, they're not understanding what is going on. Just like my kids, right? They don't really get it.
Yeah.
All they know is I'm in the hospital. That's all they know. Yeah. They don't really understand why I'm in the hospital. They don't understand what's going on when I'm in there or anything. So, what was that like to?
I don't know. It was challenging because I had to explain to the kids a lot of why you were in the hospital or why you can't run and play as hard as they run and play and not be tired and not want to continue to run and play like they did. I had to continuously explain that to them, especially when they were young. With Portia, I don't know, Portia, I think your oldest sister had the biggest struggle with it, but she adapted to it, and I think she just became your protector.
That she did.
And and which was good too, because I didn't have to worry so much about you when you were in school.
Right.
You know, with people picking on you and stuff, with Portia there, because she was your protector. But I was constantly explaining to them, you know, why you couldn't do certain things. And then, but I think really before they could understand clearly, it was jealousy and thinking that I favored you over them.
And they still hold on to that.
Well, no, I don't think so much that they hold on to that part of it now, because they understand you had sickle cell anemia.
Right.
So you were going to get a little bit more attention than they got.
Right.
They didn't understand it then.
Right.
Especially Portia. Portia struggled with it for a long time.
Yeah.
But as they got older, they did understand. start to understand that, yeah, you got a little bit more attention, but it wasn't because I love you more.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Because I loved all of them the same.
Right.
And I tried to constantly explain that to them too.
Yes.
Like, Jan needs a little bit more attention than you guys do.
Yeah.
You know, because of the disease you had. So.
And it puts you, for a child, it puts you in a different space because you can feel it, like you can feel like your siblings think that you're getting more attention and more love and more, and it's just like, guys, this is not anything that I want. You know, I don't want this attention. I don't want this extra anything. It felt like I was the burden. You know, like I had for a long time, and I still struggle with it to this day, with the people that I love and how much it affects their lives. I felt like the burden, you know, as much as you tried and explained to me that I wasn't, and, you know, I still felt like, man, I hinder my family so much because when I go into the hospital, they're having to do all of this extra figuring out and all this extra energy to figure out how they're going to deal with these kids that aren't in the hospital and still have to go to school and deal with their work and deal with this and like, so it was always like, man, if I wasn't here, you know, they wouldn't be going through this. They wouldn't be going through this. So, but luckily, and thank you for always reassuring me that I wasn't a burden and that you love me. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I know I had to assure you that you weren't a burden, but you know, it was hard. It was hard, you know.
Yeah, no, sickle cell is a burden. It's a burden to bear. It's like a cross. It's like everybody got their personal cross. To bear sickle cell is my cross. It's my cross, I feel like. And I'm getting better at dealing with it for sure. And I think my kids definitely helped me because they give me more purpose outside of myself. You know?
Oh yeah.
And so, but thank you. I really do want to say thank you. I know I don't have to because you're my mom, but I want you to know that I love you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being there for me. I know it was hard for you. I know it was a struggle for you. And I just can't imagine ever being in that position as a parent, because even the little stuff that I went through with my boys, I'd be like, oh my God, you know? So I can't even imagine the feelings that you had of always like, is my child gonna be okay?
I just really wanted you to be able to have a normal life.
Yeah.
Like the other kids.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, I feel like I gave you, you know, this, I'm the reason why you have this disease, and anything that I could do to take that away, you know, even for a minute, to ease your pain for a minute, to, you know, for you to smile and not be worried.
Well, you did a good job. You really did, because you and my stepdad, y'all did a good job. You know, y'all were not perfect, but y'all did a good job, because
nobody is.
Whenever I was not in the hospital and doing normal stuff, I felt like a normal kid. I felt normal. So you did. Well, I'm trying to hold it together. You did give me that. You did give me that. I want you to know that. And if you don't, you know.
we tried our best, you know.
Y'all did a damn good job. Cause I still can't figure out how y'all did it.
Yeah. You know, it was hard. It was hard, and sometimes it was not hard. It was easy. It was fun. You know, you had to try to keep it normal.
Right. And as normal as possible. And y'all did a good job of that, luckily. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know we tried. You and your siblings, you know, got to experience some things that a lot of your cousins and stuff, you know, never got to experience. Yeah, going out of town quite a lot, going to the beach. We love the beach. You know, just trying to show you a normal life. Yeah. You know, when you were up to it, when you weren't sick, when you weren't, you know, in pain. So we tried to show you a normal life. And I mean, for the most part, I think we did a good job.
Yeah, I can say y'all did. Y'all raised some decent humans, you know, because we could be out here doing a whole bunch of stuff that we're not doing.
What?
That we're not doing. So
I am truly thankful.
Right.
You know, that's not the case. Good job. I am grateful for my grandkids, for all of them, and for the ones to come too. For the ones to come.
Lord.
But and I love each and every one of y'all.
Okay. So as far as the trait goes, the trait and the disease goes, you didn't know that you had sickle cell, right? Like, or the
I
trait.
didn't know I had the trait. No, I did not.
So you didn't find out that you had the trait until they told me I had.
Until they told me you had the disease.
Okay.
And then, you know, they went through the whole thing of explaining how, you know, you got it. It was like I had to have the trait, the dad had to have the trait. And a lot of the times, 99, probably 95 to 99% of the time, the child will have the disease.
Yeah, it's 25%. It's a 25% chance per pregnancy if you have two people that have the trait. It's 25% of them.
Is it only 25%? I thought it was more. Well, I think back then they were saying that it was more.
Yeah, because doctors have said all kinds of stuff. They told this one warrior that it was because both his parents had the trait as well. Most of the people that I talked to, both of their parents had the trait, and a lot of them did not know that they had it at all. So that shows you that testing back then was not being done. They were not testing babies for the trait or the disease unless there was something wrong. And I'm glad they've changed that to testing everyone regardless, especially if you're in the African American community. But everyone I talked to, their parents had the trait. They didn't know. And that's what I find so crazy about the whole thing. It's only 25% chance of having the full-blown disease per pregnancy with two people that have the trait. It's a 50% chance of your child only having the trait, and then it's a 25% chance of your child not having anything at all. And so,
and if one of the parents has the disease and one of the parents don't, then the child can still get the disease. No. Well,
if one parent has the disease and one doesn't, every child is subject to the trait. Yeah.
But if one parent has the disease and if one has the trait, it's a more likelihood that they will have the
higher percentage of because the sickle cell person does not have a normal gene to give to their children regardless. So you're gonna give the sickle cell trait to every child because you don't have a normal gene to give them. And with a parent that has the trait and the disease, that goes up. That goes up. Because if I'll have to put it on the screen. I'll have to put the chart on the screen to break it down. But yeah, the likelihood of the child having
what is it,
disease,
AS and SS, something like that?
Yeah, it's a whole chart.
Yeah.
I get into it is because there's so many misconceptions and so much stuff that people have been told that's not true. That sickle cell will skip a generation of kids. If two parents have the trait,
that's not how it works
at all, and this is what a warrior told me his doctor said, that it was supposed to skip a generation, but both of his but it was him and his brother, they both had the disease, and then their two siblings had the trait, and both of their parents had the trait. So it's like, and I was telling him, I'm like, it's every pregnancy is 25%, and he was kind of stunned because he's like, I thought they told me you were supposed to skip a generation, and I'm like, no.
And I don't think they really even know, 100%.
Right.
Of how a lot of them don't even know how it works.
Right. Yeah, because they only teach 30 minutes of sickle cell in medical school. Literally. 30 minutes is all they get.
What?
30, yes.
So how are they supposed to treat people if they only getting
30 minutes? If you are going to a physician school, you want to be a doctor, a general physician, you're only going to get 30 minutes of sickle cell education. If you are going into the field of hematology and oncology, you'll probably learn more. But if you're just a general doctor, like the ones that be in the ER in the hospital, they only getting 30 minutes. And then they come in trying to tell us about our bodies and what our bodies should feel and what they should be doing and how we should be feeling based on the numbers.
And basically all they doing is experimenting on you.
Yeah.
Because they don't know themselves.
Right, exactly. But have you had to deal with a doctor that has been mistreating me? Because I don't remember any experiences with bad experiences when I was a child. Really, I've had some bad experiences as an adult, but not really as a child.
No, I've never experienced that at all.
Yeah. But have you encountered
all the nurses
doctors
and doctors that I dealt with you were great. Do you remember what's her name, Kim? She was the oncology nurse. Whenever you needed to go in or you needed medicine or something, we would call her first. What was her name? But she was wonderful all through Jan's
childhood.
Yeah, childhood up to about 10 or 12 or something. When they sent you to, because when you turned 13, something like that, they sent you to, you had to go to teen health, something like that. And so she couldn't take care of you anymore. And that hurted me because I was like, can't we keep coming to you? She was, oh my God, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, he'll probably come to you later.
But she was the best nurse, and she had sickle cell anemia.
Oh, you talking about
was it Dr. Mann or McMahon?
Yeah, Dr. McMahon was my hematologist.
Yeah, and his nurse, the black lady.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Oh God, I got her name on the tip of my tongue, and I cannot say it. But anyway, she she was wonderful. She would get me in the same
Oh,
day
yeah.
if I told her you weren't feeling good, if you needed medicine. She would take care of it. She would be like, well, we're booked, but I'm gonna get you in anyway. You come on in. You bring her on in.
Yeah, I remember her
Oh my
and yeah,
Tammy.
Tammy.
Yeah. Tammy was her name.
Yeah. Shout out to
Tammy, yes. Tammy, and I hope you are doing well, Tammy, because I could relate to her.
Yeah.
You know, anytime they had anything going on special, if they had Christmas giveaways, she would call me and tell me to bring you. If they had sickle cell meet and greets, she would call me and tell me to bring you. She was just wonderful.
And that's what we're talking about. I'm glad you say that because they treat the sickle cell babies like gold. Like gold. They treat them like gold. And that's why I asked you if you had any issues while I was a child, because I don't remember. But I will never understand why it changes when we go to adult care. When we go and switch from adult to hematology, it's not the same experience at all. It's like they're fresh out of empathy when you go in, especially if you go into the ER or anything. Like they're fresh out of empathy.
Yes, yes.
And it's a shame.
And to me, it's like y'all are being treated like this from listening to you, say how they treat you when you come in. It's like they're dealing with people that are drug addicts.
Yeah.
That are trying to scam them to come in and get a fix.
And
when you're actually having
a crisis,
honest
pain. Yes. All the warriors, every one of them. And some of them may have issues with their pain medicine, but not every sickle cell patient does. And like Travis would say, we're not patients that broke our arm 5 years ago and we're still coming in for pain medicine.
Right.
This is something that is ongoing.
That you've been dealing with
from birth.
Your entire life.
And they literally treat us like we're the patient that broke their arm 5 years ago and it's
still
healed.
Trying to get payment.
Right. And you still want payment. Like what? But that person that broke their arm 5 years ago will get the pain medicine. Mm-hmm. And they'll fight us. And that's then they don't understand why there's an opioid epidemic. Well, it's because y'all are treating the people that broke their arm. Y'all give them whatever they want, and that's how they get hooked on the medicine. Like, and then there's still. I talked to a warrior's mom, and he's 4. They're still pushing these narcotics on the baby, even though there's so many other pain control treatments that you can get that, like at the hospital, that are non-narcotic that will help you anyway. And it's like for kids, they don't. I just don't ever see a reason to give a child at 4 years old morphine. Now, yes, this is, and some people are gonna get mad because I said that. Yes, sickle cell warriors. I know we have pain, but these babies, they need to be given everything possible non-narcotic first, before you give them morphine, before you give them hydrocodone, before you give them anything. And the fact that
I didn't know that was medicine that they were giving kids.
Exactly.
Because you didn't get no morphine.
Right, at 4. Right.
At 4, you were still taking the what was that pink medicine? The amoxicillin.
Oh yeah.
It was another type of it, but that's the medicine that you were taking up until you got 5, and then they changed it to something. I don't even know what they changed it to. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But at 4,
right. And
oh my God.
then they want to call us addicts and it's like, well, if you've been giving a child morphine since they were 4, what do you expect? What do you expect? You can't do that. And I feel like it's just so that they can get you hooked. They can get you hooked so you can keep on coming back like a revolving door. Like, and then when you actually need the medicine, they don't want to give it to you. Like, it is
it's crazy.
Yeah, the healthcare community, the healthcare industry, system, all of that. Like, they really need to be revamped.
It's not.
It's not working.
It's not geared towards the black communication, the black community.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
So
not at all.
They don't give a crap if you get on drugs.
No, they don't. And they will be, even if you're not on drugs and you taking the pain medicine, even if you're not addicted to the pain medicine, they're gonna call you an addict because you're a sickle cell patient.
Yep, they want you. That's a way to keep, their money coming in and lining their pockets with money that that medicine that people are basically killing themselves with.
Yeah. Because it's not, just like the conversation we had, me and Bo had, the medicine is not really helping. It's just numbing. It's numbing your brain. Your body's
doing damage to your body cells, your organs, everything. It's long term. I do not agree with that pain medicine. I wish it was an alternative that they could,
give. And giving kids morphine at 4 is not going to get us there.
That's not the answer.
And this is also how you know that they are not really trying to cure us. That's why that cure, the treatments that they're calling cures, is not really a cure, and it's not affordable because there's no money in curing people. There's no money in getting people well, because if you get someone well, you're never going to see them again. They're not going to be in the hospital again.
So that means you're going to lose that money for the drugs and stuff that you're prescribing.
Yep.
And that's what they don't want.
Yep. And so this is
just
really,
my opinion.
It's all facts. Being a patient of the system, it's all facts, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But overall, though, in your opinion, what do you feel like the sickle cell community needs as a whole?
Recognition.
I hear you.
Recognition. I think they need to, advertise it more. They need to do more studies on trying to get a cure for sickle cell anemia.
Yeah.
They're out here, they're putting all this money in cancer and trying to find a treatment for cancer. I bet you if they put as much time in sickle cell as they did for cancer, it would be a cure for sickle cell by now.
Yeah, a real one too. A real one.
Yeah. One that they could actually, put out there for everybody to live a normal life.
Right, and be affordable at that. Because the cures, because they're not cures. There's one trial that will put you in trait status. It'll take you out of sickle cell disease status and put you in trait status.
Really?
Yeah. But it's like $1 million something.
And then who with sickle cell anemia has $1 million?
Right.
And why is it that expensive? Why?
Right.
You don't even recognize it enough for you to say, well, this is something that's, greatly needed, and we're gonna charge $1 million for it. But then yet you don't recognize that people even have it.
Right.
that people are actually suffering with it.
Yeah. Yep. And them cancer treatments are not millions and millions of dollars either. Them cancer treatments are not millions and millions of dollars. That's the crazy thing. So all the people that I know that are getting cured, they're in clinical trials. That's the only way they're able to get cured because they cannot afford it.
Right.
No one can afford
that.
Be
in it, and that's crazy that you have to be in a clinical trial in order for you to get some type of treatment, some type of relief for this disease that they could really probably already have a cure, but not, and the cure may not be in the United States. It's probably somewhere else, but the United States won't accept it.
No, the FDA won't approve it. They won't approve it.
Just my opinion. Just getting that out there.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Yep, and that's it. And you have a right to have your opinion for this reason.
I wish they would do more to recognize sickle cell, as a real, disease that needs, give it the recognition it deserves.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this one's about to die. Okay.
So, because I have been blessed to still have my daughter here.
Right.
At 36.
35. I just turned 35.
Yeah, that one. 35. And, I'm blessed to still have her here. And I've just been, praying for a cure, that she'll be able to live a normal life, a pain-free life.
Yeah. And even if I don't get there, Mama, even if I don't get cured, my life and all the pain I went through, it's been worth it. Okay? It's been worth it. To be here with y'all, I'll suffer whatever pain I gotta suffer to be here.
But I was actually kind of surprised and happy to know that there was somebody in their 50s, and then you said there was somebody in their
60s, yeah. 60, 70, all the way up to 95, I mean, yeah.
With sickle cell anemia. And I said, you need to try to reach out to them people. And see, hey, still, Africa, you can, the internet reaches Africa.
I know, I talked to some.
And see exactly what they've been doing.
Right.
To have longevity.
Yeah.
To still be, here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did they deal with sickle cell,
Yeah, it's
I just think, if the sickle cell warriors get together and, and just talk about your own experiences, that, something will start clicking that, this experience worked over here, this experience worked with this person, and maybe these experiences can be,
collectively, gathered together,
to create something, to spark an idea in somebody's head, one of these scientists,
right?
Medical scientists that can create a cure.
Yeah, to cure us for real, or to at least give us remedies that are adequate enough, that are not gonna leave us addicted, dead in the hospital,
or body all
non-functional,
right, because of something harsh on the body. Needs to be something that's easy on the body, that's not good, that's gonna take the pain away, something natural. That's exactly what it's gonna have to be, something natural.
So, speaking of natural cures and everything like that, when you said when they told you you had to go to a class or whatever to learn about sickle cell. So was there I know you said they had education class or whatever when they told you about sickle cell, but was there any kind of education for you around the narcotic pain medicine, or did you just already know about the narcotic pain medicine? Like as far as the risks and stuff like that with it, you know?
No, in the class they didn't talk too much about pain medicine. They just, um, told you how it was developed, how you get it. Um, but there was no narcotic medicine at all mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know anything about narcotic medicine for sickle cell patients, at all until I guess when you start getting older. But no, I have no knowledge of the narcotic medicine that was given. Like, I mean, I was just surprised that they're giving it to 4-year-olds.
Right. Yeah. And that's
So
why
I didn't have to give you any kind of narcotic medicine or anything like that. You were taking, like I said, amoxicillin up until 5, and then I guess whatever pain medicine it was they gave you when you had to go to the hospital, but I don't even remember what that was.
Right.
I don't think it was. I don't remember it being at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know there's been times where, especially in the hospital, I've been given narcotic pain medicine as a child, and so I'm asking about the education because there was no education for the patients, and now there's no education for the parents either.
Not back then.
Right.
But,
now either.
I don't know about now if they're doing more education than parents or not. So
I know because I've talked to people, and like the 4-year-old, the mom, I talked to her, and the fact that she was talking about the pain medicine, I was like, yeah. So there's still. So this is how you know it's really a business. It's not about getting you. It's not about healing, and it's sad
because I think they've made up in their mind that they can't heal you. So they're just gonna keep on pacifying it.
Yeah, doing whatever, prescribing whatever medicines they get incentivized to prescribe, and keeping you in that revolving door of always needing them. And that's why they don't want to tell you about natural remedies. They don't want to educate you about anything, anything. And it's a shame because I feel like if we had some education, especially in and around narcotic pain medicine, and when you are growing up with it, when you're switching from childhood to adult, and now you're no longer being policed by your parent. Your parent is not the one that has control over your medicines anymore. And a lot of people don't know how to handle that, especially when they're in pain and they have pain medicine. So all they do is take the pain medicine, even if it's not time to take the pain medicine. And that's how they get addicted and stuff like that. And so I just feel like patient education is something that is so important, that's something that the sickle cell community needs from these doctors and from the healthcare system. When we are switching from pediatric to adult patients, there needs to be a talk about the narcotic.
It should be 3 stages. It should be pediatric, then it should be the teenage years, and then adulthood.
Right.
Because you ain't just going from being a child to an adult. Right, a child to an adult. I mean, it's those things in between too. So, it needs to be. I think more education probably needs to take place.
Yeah.
you know, at that,
earlier. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell them how to manage their, you know, their pain and, you know, things that they can do to counteract it. You know, drinking more water and, you know, taking the hot bath and using the heating pads and the heating blankets and whatever you need to do. And, you know, and when you need to stay out of the elements, don't overexert yourself. Then, and I guess these things need to be taught by the parent too. But coming from the doctors and stuff and nurses, I think it means a lot more. That you have a lot more of the child's attention, you know, when it comes to your care, when it comes to their care.
Yeah, because I feel like parents of sickle cell warriors, the ones that's involved, they do everything they can. They talk to their child, they're with their child, they're doing everything. They're communicating with these doctors. They're even fighting with the doctors if they have to get the adequate care they need. I feel like it's a lack on the healthcare system. They are dropping the ball.
A lack of knowledge.
They're dropping the ball.
Knowledge is the key. Like they need more knowledge. The patients, you know, need to know what to expect. You know, long term. With their care and you know, with the disease. I think it just needs to continuously be taught. You know, what to expect. These doctors, they need to continually be taught how to take care of patients. Sickle cell anemia when they're children, when they're teenagers, when they're adults.
And when we say we're in pain, believe us, because we know how it feels. We know how it feels. Like, and so many people have try to tell me how I feel, or, oh, you look good. You don't look like you've been through anything. You don't look like you're in pain. You don't look sick. You don't look like. That's the part that irritates me about it being an invisible
of you know, of it all, of them thinking that you out here. Come on, thing. You know, of them thinking that you're just coming to get drugs because you need to get high, instead of, you know, coming to get some medicine and to take care of your pain,
and care. And making sure and checking my vitals and making sure I'm not dying. You know, for real. Man, I got so many
just
stories.
Being more sensitive to the situation, not being insensitive to it.
Because we get that so much. Now, do you remember what my first crisis was like, or like how it happened? Because I don't even remember like that. No. Do you remember, do you have any memory of like a crisis that I had that sticks out in your mind that was like, oh my God, that was crazy? Or like, oh my God, I didn't expect that to happen. Like
no, because I'm trying to remember the times that you actually had to be admitted to the hospital and why. And I can't see anything clearly. I could see us being in the hospital, but the reasons, you know, that we were there, I don't recollect.
I know. I remember being in the hospital a lot because of pneumonia. When it gets cold, me and cold do not get along. Never have. And so,
well, when you were young, like young and still under my care, you never had pneumonia.
I ain't talking about like super young. I'm just saying as a child. You know, in any instances in my childhood where I have been admitted because I had pneumonia.
I know they used to be threatening that all the time. You don't want her to get pneumonia, and you don't want her to get, you know, this. You know, I remember them threatening and saying that a lot of sickle cell kids lose their spleen, and because in the gallbladder, and then they won't be able to fight off the diseases because they don't have anything to help fight it off. And a lot of kids die from that. I remember them specifically saying that, and I was like, what?
Yeah, because your spleen is what filters your blood and helps fight the disease and stuff. So sickle cell is very, very harsh on our organs anyway, and the little old gallbladder and the little old spleen can't take it. And so that's why mine's gone. And my spleen is, I don't know if I told you this, but my spleen is a callus. It doesn't function. It's in there, but it doesn't function. That's why my white blood count, most of the time when I go to the ER, my white blood count is high because my spleen is not functioning. I didn't find that out until like last year. Cause I was like, hold up, I still got my spleen, I think, but my hematologist was like, but it's not functioning. It's just a big callus ball. Sickle cell has beat it up to the point where it failed. My spleen failed, and so yeah, that's why my white count. When I have a crisis, my white count goes through the roof. It goes through the roof every time. But yeah,
I know. I didn't know that. I knew about your gallbladder,
right, being removed. But yeah, my spleen's still in there, but it's not working. That's what he told me. He cause they did a ultrasound and everything and measured it, and got pictures of it, and he said it's just callous. It's not functioning.
So they can't do anything to fix that. Nothing.
I mean, it's not fun. It doesn't heal itself. It's not one of them organs that heals itself. Once it's back on, back on track, it's not one of them. Just like your lungs. That's why they tell you don't smoke, because your lungs do not heal themselves either. But yeah, but I'm good though. I'm good. I'm still good. I just might have to take more antibiotics. I end up having to take more antibiotics when my white count goes up. But yeah, but that's why I was wondering. Yeah, so the running theme that I am getting from this is education. Education, education, education. This conversation has just reiterated everything that I already knew about the healthcare community, and has reiterated what so many warriors say and parents of warriors say. There is not enough of a whole lot of stuff. Our community is very neglected, and I'm hoping that this podcast can make even a little bit of change, because when I was working with community care partners and stuff like that, we were talking to the doctors. I was talking to ER physicians. I literally did a seminar in front of ER physicians talking about sickle cell. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping that I can get back to that space in a different way, under my own terms. I can tell them what I'm going to talk about when I come to them, instead of being told what I can talk about. But
that probably would be a good thing too.
Yeah.
Maybe to make some people open their eyes and pay attention.
Yes, and especially the people that are seeing us the most. These doctors, they're the ones that need it the most, because they see us the most, especially these ER doctors. But do you know anyone else in our family or extended family that has sickle cell, or anybody that knows they have the trait?
The only other person that I know in our family that has it is your grandmother, my mom.
The trait?
She has the trait.
Yeah.
And I don't know if her mama had it, if her daddy had it. I don't
Right, how it got passed.
I don't remember. I think maybe it was her mom, but I don't know. And I never knew her dad, so never got to talk to him. He was already passed, you know.
Okay.
So my mom, I guess that'd be a conversation to have with my mom.
Yeah, see if she didn't know, then she probably don't know how she got it.
But she knows that she has the trait.
Right.
But a lot of times she'll say, "Yeah, I think I got it." So yeah, she's probably not going. She may, I don't know.
Yeah, and the trait still affects you. I want you to know that too.
Yeah, you've told me that several times.
Cause my boys have the trait too, and it's like if you overwork yourself, you can hurt yourself. That's why the soldiers, I think they're gonna.
Candid has it too. Has the trait.
Yes.
And
yeah. I told you, sickle cell patients do not have the normal gene to give their children. Yeah. What was it like talking to, and I know he wasn't around a lot, but what was it like talking to my dad about me having sickle cell?
Well, you know, he tried to pretend like he didn't know he had it.
Oh, Lord.
And I told him, yes, you do have it. And he found his dog tag, and on it, he told me this, that on it, it says that he had sickle cell trait.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to get from your
whoever.
his dog tag.
Yeah. His girlfriend might have it.
Well, then she needs to give it up. It ain't hers. You wasn't married to him.
Yeah.
But he, I don't know, your dad, God bless his soul, God rest his soul. Yeah. Now, he was a good man ultimately, but you know, he had some issues that he just couldn't overcome.
Yeah. And his passing has definitely been a wake up call for me, even still. You know, it just makes me grateful for you that you're still here with me, and grateful for the man that was in my life that's still here. That's all they did. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for Daddy, for y'all teaching me how to be a woman, and teach me what a real man looks like, and everything, because I don't know where I would be without y'all. Thank you so much, Mommy. So, having a child with a disability, did it make you hesitant to like be around people that didn't understand our situation, or what I was going through, or kids that didn't understand her?
Well, I don't know. I think I may have deprived you as a young child of some things because you had sickle cell anemia. Like, I wish I had sent you to preschool like Portia, but I didn't because it was still new to me at that time.
Right.
So I didn't know a whole lot about it, and I didn't want to let you go to school and be worried about you getting hurt or your medicine not being given. And this was early on because you could have went to preschool at 4, and I didn't want you to.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I would have made a different decision about that because I don't know. I just feel like you would have blossomed a little earlier than you did. You know, and it teaches you. Preschool taught Portia a lot. Portia was way ahead of her class to me with a lot of stuff because of preschool. And I think I just deprived you of that. It helped with social skills. Right. It helped her learn a lot more, a lot faster. To be on
track.
On track.
With the other kids and stuff.
Yeah. So it had some benefits that.
But I get why you wouldn't, because you don't want to subject your child to anything you feel like is unnecessary.
Yep, and then going to school and around kids that could be sick.
Right.
And getting you sick.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a real fear. That was a real. I mean, look, you can't regret too bad your past because I'm here.
Yep, and you turned out well, went to college and graduated. So, hey, I'm proud. I'm proud of you. Because a lot of things that, a lot of your cousins and peers and stuff didn't do.
Yeah. So, I'll try. And I thank you for, the head I have on my shoulders. Because I do get it from you. I do get it from you. You are a headstrong woman, and you made me a headstrong woman. You let me a headstrong woman. There's nothing wrong with that.
I came from a headstrong woman. Who came from a headstrong woman.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. It's in the DNA.
Yeah.
So I thank you for that, and I think God knew who to give you. He gave me this fight and us this fight because we knew that we could handle it, and He knew that you would care for me the best way that you knew how, and give me the love, all the love I needed and deserved, and you did just that. You did just that. You did well with my siblings and me. Okay.
I tried my best.
You did. Nobody can say nothing about your mothering skills. You got that on lock. Okay, you got that on lock. I just want to say
I was a little overprotective, but
for a reason.
I needed to be.
Yeah, for a reason, and it makes you that way, especially if your child. If they're telling you your child ain't gonna live to this age or that age, you're gonna protect that child with all your might. Like, look, this child gonna make it past all that y'all talking about. And thank God they was wrong.
That's right.
Y'all was wrong, and I'm still proving you wrong.
Listen, we had God on our side.
Yes, and He ain't never left.
And He brought us through. He brought you through those obstacles that they say you were not gonna cross.
Right.
So
yeah.
I am thankful.
Yeah, me too. Were you a little bit afraid when I got pregnant the first time and probably the second time too?
The second time more so than the first.
Why?
Because you were in such pain the first time.
Oh yeah.
And I just thought it was hard on your body.
Yeah.
So the second time I just was like tense, scared for you.
Yeah.
So but it had its challenges, but you overcame that as well.
Yeah. That first one, that first labor, it wasn't even the labor and delivery. It wasn't even the pregnancy. It was a labor and delivery. They gave me a run for my money. And then it was the reverse with Ty, because the pregnancy was hard, but the birth and the delivery was easy. It was
Yeah, they always say that the second one is easier. It's a lot easier.
It was.
Yeah, it really was, because when I got to Ariana and Raekwon, they were
a breeze.
Yeah, like you came really, really, really quick too. really quick. Like Portia, oh my God, it took forever. There was no epidural. Just with you or Portia, no epidural. I didn't even know what epidural was until I had Ariana.
Oh, wow.
And then it seemed like they overloaded me on that epidural. My legs was so there and heavy.
Oh, yeah. That's what
And
it
I
do
couldn't
to you.
move them for a long time. I was like, oh my God, did they overdo it?
But they were supposed to numb everything. But I
Lord,
had an epidural with knives, but the thing wore off. They had me on a PCA epidural to the point where I could push the button to make sure I was numb down there. And it still wore off when it was time to push. The most important part. Because I could handle the contractions. Yeah. The contractions wasn't nothing. It was the pushing and the fact that he pooped in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You remember she was like, you're going to feel something called the ring of fire. You just got to push through it. And I was yelling because when she said ring of fire, she meant ring of fire. That's what she meant. Like, it felt like my hoo-ha was on fire. For real. It burned so bad.
Yo, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's something, it kind of, you know, rings familiar, but
yeah, it's been so long.
Yeah.
14 years ago. Yeah, I remember it because it was painful. That's why I remember it. And I remember what she said right before I felt the pain. So, yeah, it was like she knew it was coming because they said, oh, he pooped in you.
What, I wonder how they know, number one. And I mean, and I guess they have their ways of knowing.
Yeah, because you can see.
What causes it?
I think it's stress, like being in stress, putting the babies in stress, so they go to the bathroom, you know. And he was down there, because I know I was in labor for at least a day, and I wasn't making. After I got the epidural, my progress slowed down. Like I wasn't making no progress, and then as soon as they moved me, it was time to go, and I felt everything. The tie, I didn't feel nothing, and the doctor almost missed it. But he almost, a tie was about to be out, and he wasn't even in the room yet.
What?
Yeah. Travis could have caught tie, because he was right there. Like, she was like, we're going to do some practice pushes. I practiced pushing, Ty was about to come out. She was like, whoa, let me call the doctor. You don't need no practice. Like, lady, I don't need no practice. This is my second baby. I know how to push. But anyway, I am. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about? I asked everybody this. Anything I didn't mention, you want to mention anything you want to say, anything you want to ask me?
No, not really. I don't think.
Well, I know one thing. I would love to get you and my siblings on camera. To, you know, maybe in the third season or something, we can all come and they can tell their experiences about, you know, how it was for them, their perspective on having a sibling with sickle cell, because I'm interested to know their perspective on it. But thank you for yours. I think this is going to help reaffirm for a lot of caregivers, you know, education, education, education. Educate yourself. If you have a child with sickle cell and you don't know anything about sickle cell, you don't know anyone with sickle cell, the best thing you can do for your child is educate yourself. Educate, educate, educate. And the fact that you even got an education class out of it when they told you about it is crazy, because I ain't heard that. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard anyone else say they got education when they found out they had sickle cell, or their parents found out they had sickle cell.
Yep, they
because they weren't tested back then like that, but they had the education.
Well, they was testing.
Well, yeah, by my time, but like way before that, yeah. So
in the little class, it was something that they was doing, like I think it may have been like a hour class or something that you, while we was over there in the hospital, after I had you, they had this class. For for you to come in if you wanted to learn more about it.
Oh, okay. So they made it voluntary.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah. Well, it's voluntary. They ain't gonna make you because they don't.
Well, you can't mandatory, but it's
right.
like you could really suggest, like, yeah, it's voluntary, but I really suggest you go especially if you have not heard of it, you don't know nobody with it.
I had no knowledge of it at all. Like, I don't even think they were teaching it in school. Mm-hmm. I don't remember them being taught in school at all. Anything about that. But they'll mention cancer and stuff.
Oh yeah. Everything else. Even diseases, and I've read this on all the official websites and everything, that even diseases that affect fewer people than sickle cell gets more funding and more recognition than sickle cell does. And that's crazy to me. But
it's a black disease. So
right.
That in itself they don't give a shit.
Right.
It's not opinion.
Yeah, and that's the truth. It ain't an opinion because it's the truth. It's in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. If it was on the same level, it would be on the same level. It's not. Right. It never is. And hopefully we're gonna change that. And we're gonna get it up there. But did you ever have any moments where you were like breaking down, like, Lord, what is this? What have you done to my child? What have you done to me? Have you had any of those moments? Because I have.
No, the only thing I've ever really done was just ask the Lord to, to ease your pain, to, give me that pain. If I could take your pain away for you, I've told you this several times too. If I could take your pain away, I would.
I'm glad that you don't this pain, because I would hate that.
Yeah. Well, I hate that you know it.
But it's okay because it gives me a different purpose. It gives me a different cross to bear. It humbles me when I need to be humbled. It puts me back in my place when I need to be put back in my place. So I can't. It's a blessing and it's a curse at the same time. And I'm just trying to find a way to embrace this blessing and this curse that I'm dealing with.
Yeah. To get the word out there, I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing, that you're trying to do. And like more people should really get on board to try to get the word out about sickle cell anemia. Yeah. People with sickle cell anemia, their families, family of people with sickle cell anemia, should get on board to get the word out there, because it is a very serious disease that's killing our babies, killing our adults.
Yes.
So
killing our loved ones.
We need to put the word out there about sickle cell anemia. That is just.
Well, thank you. Thank you again for helping me. Thank you for getting on board, even though you was shoved on board. You was drug on board.
Well, I don't think so.
I'm just saying the sickle cell board. You was drug on this sickle cell journey, not the podcast board.
Not willing.
Yeah.
But,
Well, thank you, Mommy, so much. We only scratched the surface here, but that's all we need to do today. And we can come back later on, especially if the people want to see us again, I'm gonna drag her back on here again.
Well, I'll be happy to come.
Thank you.
I'll be happy to come. All right, folks, it was nice seeing you guys, and I want to hear you. I want to see you on this podcast, and you know,
Like,
let's
comment,
get the word out there.
yes.
Let's get the word of knowledge
subscribe.
out there. So like, comment, and subscribe
Hey,
to Jan's channel
yep, my sickle cell life.
podcast.
Mhm. Yes, all of that. You heard her, okay? So you should be hitting the subscribe button right now. You should be hitting the like. You should be commenting.
Hey.
All right.